whatever it is you're doing. But I think I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque and... Can any of you give me directions back to Earth? You know, I thought I took that tunnel, but my GPS is all screwed up down here, and it keeps trying to get me to make this suicidal left turn. You might want to check your rear view.
Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to another video on Supergirl Season 3, Episode 3, and today we'll be going over what happened in the episode. So, I'll be talking about my thoughts on the episode and my actual review. So, without further ado, let's get right into this. So, first off, when Britney Spears' song Baby One More Time came on and Kara was driving in Jonn's vintage car, I absolutely lost it. That is my new favourite scene. I just thought it was so well played out, and I'm smiling right now thinking about it. It was pure comedy, and it really reminded me of Glee, because obviously they sang that song there and Melissa was on it, and I was like getting flashbacks left, right and center. So that was an amazing scene, my favorite scene of the episode. I know it's like totally different from the rest of the tone within the episode, but you know, that was really good. But moving on to the episode overall, I thought it was probably my favorite episode in a long time. Both of the stories I really connected with, and the episode as a whole packed a lot of enticing things within it, and it was very well done on a TV making respective point. First off, we have to talk about the new intro, so I'll play it here.
My name is Zor-El. I'm from Krypton. I'm a refugee on this planet. I was sent to Earth to protect my cousin, but my pod got knocked off course, and by the time I got here, my cousin had already grown up and become Superman. I hid who I really was, until one day when an accident forced me to reveal myself to the world. To most people, I'm a reporter at Catco Worldwide Media, but in secret, I work with my adopted sister for the DEO to protect my city from alien life and anyone else that means to cause it harm. I am Supergirl.
I really like the new theme song that Blake nearly created, as you just heard. It really fits in with the show, and the overall theme is so nice, and it's really nice to have a little change. Although I miss the old one, this new one is actually really good, and within the new intro we can see the new actress, young Kara, has changed just due to the real actress's age. She is on a series of unfortunate events. You should definitely check that out because she's amazing on that, and that's probably one of my favorite TV shows, and she's a lot older now, and that is the main reason that the new Kara is in the new intro. And this new Kara actually looks a lot more like Melissa Benoist, and then we get to see Allura, which is again played by Erica Durance, who has shown up in every episode so far. So that is the main reason why they actually recast her, because she's going to be in a lot more this season, and they obviously needed Laura Benanti a lot more, and she just wasn't able to do that. So I think it was a very risky but a very good choice to recast her to Erica Durance, because she's in a lot of the episodes. So within the episode we had two storylines, the Maggie story and the Mars story. So I'll go over the Mars plot first. So Kara goes with Jonn to Mars. They take a very Harry Potter influenced flying car that can shapeshift into a spaceship, and this is revealed to be how he escaped Mars, and this vintage car is used a lot within the episode and was one of the highlights of the episode with the comedy that came with it. And at the start with Kara getting into the car, it was really funny, and then obviously the Hit Me Baby One More Time direction scene at the end was great. But they travel to Mars, and then when they get there, they're shown that Jonn's dad is actually alive and that none of the whites would dare to kill him, and him only, due to the fact that he was a high religious leader on Mars, and I guess it would see as breaking their entire faith. And he holds the key for the bad whites to get a staff that would give them all the power and win the war. So within the episode, Jonn's dad must learn to see and forgive Jonn for leaving Mars, and he has come to the realization that his son is his son. So he was in denial, and that he thought one of the whites was pretending to be his son. So the storyline really did shine through, and I connected heavily with it, as I'm sure many of you guys did as well, as the overall reception for this episode has been great so far, with many positive things said. And overall for the season, there hasn't been any really big complaints to actually give towards the show, so it's all been really well done so far, and I'm just hoping that it continues up with this really good standard throughout the rest of season 3. So moving on to the Maggie stuff within the episode, Alex and Maggie host a wedding shower at Kara's place to celebrate their engagement. So all of their friends and family come along, and we see the return return of Eliza, Alex and Kara's mum, which was a great surprise as she actually is always great to have around. But then Maggie actually calls her father to attend, and we learn that he was the one to kick her out the house when she was a teenager and that she disgraced him, and it was explained that he is against homosexuals, so he's a homophobic person, as he thinks to survive in the world you must be something else than what you are really. And this story showed a really strong message, especially at the end, that you are who you are and you should not pretend to be someone else if you're gay. So within the episode, when at the baby shower, you could see Maggie's father was really hesitant, and you could see he was stuttering when he was talking, and you could see his body language was really reluctant, and finally he snapped when Alex and Maggie were kissing. So Maggie finally stepped up and showed him that no matter what he thinks, she is going to be whatever she wants to be, and she's not his little girl anymore. And that really got me. I thought that was a really strong message, and that scene was so strong. It was definitely one of my favorite scenes in the episode because it just shows a great message, and overall this episode showed a really strong message. So with the two parallel storylines with the two fathers, it was just amazing. So when her father actually came to America from Mexico when he was 8 years old, he worked to win respect from the people around him, but in the end of the episode he left with no respect from us, the audience, because in present day being homosexual is accepted, and now Maggie is a stronger person for standing up against what is wrong. So finally within the episode, Jonn's dad did come back to Earth, and even though I was hesitant at first about him coming to Earth and him surviving after the episode being the only Green Martian, in the end I thought it was very crucial that he survived, and now Jonn has someone else to go to rather than just his lost memories of Mars. So moving on to my top 5 within this episode. Number 5, the intro within the episode. I know this shouldn't really count because this is going to be in every episode, but it's a nice new introduction and I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a very big upgrade towards the season. And with Supergirl changing a bit, a new intro is very nice and it's very in tone with what we're supposed to be getting this season. So number 4, the vintage car transforming into a spaceship. So that opening scene was absolutely great. I loved it, with Kara being like, how are we going to get to space in this old vintage car that looks like a Harry Potter flying car? She didn't literally say that, but that's what we're all thinking, right? And it was just a really good use of comedy, and Jonn was like, yeah, this is my spaceship, this is how I got here. So yeah, number 3, Jonn's dad's realization. So that was a really emotional scene where Jonn actually went into his head and showed even Kara his happiest memory with inside the house, with his dad coming home early from the church or wherever he works with the religious leaders, and him obviously seeing that, and then he comes to the realization that Jonn is actually his son, so he was in denial that it wasn't him. So number 2, Maggie stepping up at the end, was a really strong scene, and I feel like it showed a really strong message, and I'm just so happy they included this because, you know, nowadays there is still a lot of homophobes, and it's just good that TV shows are willing to step up and say something. So number 1, the Kara direction scene. I really love this. I told you at the start with the Britney Spears song when it came on, I was just getting flashbacks quickly, and it was just pure comedy. It was so good. I loved Melissa Benoist in that scene. She did an amazing job this episode, and so did David Harewood, and so did everyone else within the episode. Floriana Lima was a definite standout. I thought they were all really good in this episode. So this episode, my favorite of this season. What do you guys think of the episode? Please leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
It doesn't make us strong, it doesn't make us weak. Tongue tied to service like shot free.